As you already know by now, in Trello, you have a board, which is the entire work area. You have your lists to categorize the different stages of your project. You have your task cards so that you can easily add specific activities to each of the categories or lists. Now that already is a lot of levels, a lot of layers that you can fraction your project in. However, Trello gives you an additional layer if you want to get even more specific, and this is checklists. Now, checklists are available in all of the cards. So I'm just going to click here on, let's say here I'm going to call a meeting with colleagues. But actually for me to call the meeting with colleagues requires that I set up a series of micro steps, which I need to verify. So let's open up here, and here on the buttons here I have a checklist. So I'm going to click on that, and I'll just call prepare meeting. Okay, so now here I have a checklist. So I need to do, for me to call the meeting, I actually need to prepare a series of steps before that. So I need to confirm names. I need to ask for emails. I need to create a mail list on my email client. I need to send out emails with meeting details, such as the day and the time. And there you go. So I just have these 4 steps, and I can click the X. I always have the option to add more. Now, the cool thing about this, I can actually have multiple checklists, not just the one checklist. So for example, let's say that I also want to use this card for the actual meeting. So let's say I'm going to add a second checklist, and I'm going to say that its name is meeting. So I want to take the roll call of who is there in the meeting. I want to take note of general topics. I want to also maybe bring the presentation that is required for that. And let's have here one more. Take note on agreed topics for project. So there, let's say we have those 4. So here now I have these 2 checklists. Now one little thing here, this one, I don't want it to be in the 3rd spot. I actually want it to be in the 1st spot because this is before the actual meeting. So I can just drag and drop again. Remember, you can drag and drop a lot of things here. Go ahead and experiment as you work with Trello. And so there we go. So now here I have these 2 checklists. Now let me click away here, and notice how here in the call meeting with colleagues task card, you have this little check mark with 8. This tells me that this card specifically has 8 checklist activities to complete, and from those 8, 0 have been completed. So let's click in here to the card, and let's say that I've already confirmed the names, so I click that, and it gives me, depending on how many checks I have or activities, it calculates how much percentage that is for this. So let's say I already have asked for those, and as I progress, it gives me now the 100%. So let's click away, and now here it says that 4 out of 8 have been completed. It gives me the total number, no matter how many checklists I have. If I clicked on something by mistake, I can just click in again, and it adjusts. Same over here. I can click as I need to, and it gives me that that calculation. Now let's say this one is done, so I can just hide the completed ones, and there. Or I can also delete. I can show them again, or I could delete. It could delete the checklist completely. So that is working with checklists. You can actually add checklists, like I was saying, to all of the cards as you need to, or only the ones that you need to, of course, not necessarily all of them. But it's a great feature for you to actually dig into each of those tasks within the card and name them. Now let's say that just one final point here. Let's say because I already created these two over here. So let's say I need to repeat these for some reason. Let's say we're going to have a meeting here on recording video tutorials. So I want to bring in those same points. Instead of typing everything again, I could just click on the checklist, copy items from, and it'll give me a list of all of the checklists that are already created within this board. So I like this meeting checklist, and I'll just meeting 2 in there. And now it brings in all of the options that were created from the previous. It just does a copy paste for me instead of me typing everything again. And I can just click on the title to change it, bring the presentation for the video editing tools. Let's say, so I need to adjust that for this specific task, save it. And when I can also click and edit each one as I need to. And then when I'm done, I'll just click, click, click as they progress. And that is basically checklists here on Trello.